Products in supermarkets today are not heavily vetted, and most consumers are unable to find out about the ethical weighting of the items that they purchase in their weekly grocery shop. Our business proposal aims to offer a way for everyday people to make more informed decisions in the supermarket. It also aims to give companies an added motivation to employ ethical and sustainable business practices. We will be providing an ethical rating for food items that contain 2 or less resources. This ensures we have the ability to actually collect data on the food product. The rating takes into account carbon footprint and ethical practices such as fair wages, thus giving a total score for items which we will be calling our emission status. We will calculate this with biannual reviews of carbon emissions and ethical business practices. We will use calculation methods taking into account many factors such as transportation, fair trade and working conditions. We will work with organisations like Fair Trade to determine this. You will see this in supermarkets as a value when you purchase your goods at the checkout, educating the consumer and promoting a more ethical and sustainable business environment. We will also produce labels which we will be placing on the items that are eligible for this scheme. Consumers will be motivated to purchase items that rate higher on our ethical production scale through an incentive. The incentive will be determined through communication efforts we have with the supermarket. For example, once a certain threshold is met, they will receive 20% off our products that meet a particular score the next time they shop there. Or buy 2 products with an ethical rating scale of a particular amount and receive 1 free. Ideally, through this process, consumers will become much more mindful and aware of the goods and brands that they are purchasing, therefore promoting a harmonious environment for all organisations involved, because businesses and products with a higher emission score will be superior to their counterparts. This may lead to less ethical businesses stepping up their game and agreeing to implement better methods of business because the cost of not doing so is far greater. This encapsulates harmony by bringing producers across the globe together in a pursuit of a more ethical and sustainable planet, by encouraging a reduction in carbon footprint and increasing the ethics of these companies.
Our point scoring system would be based on 2 overarching factors, one being the ecological footprint of the company and the other being how ethical their business production methods are. The ecological footprint will be given a score. This will be between 0 to 500, with the lower end, obviously the 0 being better, given a small ecological footprint. This will then factor in things like the emissions created through production, transportation, and any other activities that the business may be conducting that could affect on the sort of overall emissions that they're outputting. Alongside this will be an ethical practice score. So this will also be between 0 to 500, just to keep it consistent, 0 being the most ethical and 500 being the least. This will take into account the payment of workers, treatment of workers in regards to things like benefits, housing options and amenities. Once we've got both these scores, these will be then added together to give an emission status, where the lower the score the better and the higher the score the worst. Once we've got this score, this will then be shown on the products as well as at the check-in. Thus we're sort of educating and informing consumers on their purchase decision. In regards to how we monetize this, we believe that one option would be that large firms could invest and therefore showing their willingness to improve the environment and their own level of ethical practice. This would be the fact that it's good for organisations' triple bottom line reporting, given that it shows a willingness to improve their social responsibility, it shows to the public that they're environmentally conscious, it shows that they're against worker exploitation, and it also therefore improves their reputation through participating, so it kind of works better for them in terms of it could drive sales up. Their level of participation in this scheme can be a form of tax credit against their own organisation's emissions. Another alternative would be that the government could also invest, and therefore there's more likelihood that these firms will also be operating ethically given New Zealand's stricter laws. This may also encourage and increase international firm willingness to invest into New Zealand so that it can reduce their carbon outputs and also take advantage of the fact that they can increase their ethical practice score as well. Local supermarkets could also invest. This would show their willingness to change. A lot of them in New Zealand have already shown sort of a willingness in terms of getting rid of plastic bags entirely. We believe that for them this could be sort of a step further. So they're not just making an action in terms of doing something, but they can also help to educate the consumer. We also think this would improve their reputation further, it improves their impact on the environment, but also shows that they feel that there's a need for ethical sort of production in terms of the products that they offer.
These factors give us plenty of a reason to believe that our business pitch will be viable.